Solipsism is only a belief. So, one of the common traps of doing spiritual work or just truth seeking in general, um, going down some deep philosophical rabbit holes, these can all lead to a difficulty with the idea of solipsism. And if you're going about your pursuit for truth for the right reasons to, value truth and to become a better person, um, to make the most out of life, to respect and to honor life and to try to investigate life. These are all good intentions, and someone who has these good intentions can really struggle, especially when they come across something like solipsism, because it undermines a lot of things that we're trying to be good for. We want to be good for ourselves, obviously, but we also want to be good, friends, good children, or good parents, or good relatives, good coworkers, good bosses, good whatever. I think deep down inside that's what we all want. But if you're especially somebody who's seeking truth, out of the respect and love for life itself, then you're probably especially somebody like this, or somebody who is really trying to embody this sort of thing. But when you come up against an idea like solipsism, this can become very distressing, because all of those things that you care about, they the idea of them potentially being just imaginary and part of your imagination becomes really scary. So that leads me to what solipsism is, in case you are unaware. Um, and if this is your first time hearing about this, you may not even want to learn about what solipsism is. So, but if you choose to listen to the rest of this video, then this can also help so you don't fall into that trap or get stuck in that trap for very long. So basically, solipsism is is the idea that you are the only person who exists, or you're the only mind, or you're everybody else. It's almost like you're dreaming, and everybody else, but you're the only one who's real, and everyone else is just a part of your dream. And the reason why people come up upon this is when we're doing personal development work, or if we have some sort of an insight, or we're doing, we're spiritually seeking or truth seeking. The more we go down those paths, we oftentimes will get to the point where we start to realize how much of our life is created from our perception. What we considered absolutely good and bad before, or anything that we had absolute beliefs about before, and that the world was actually like that, we're starting to realize that we are actually projecting those meanings and beliefs onto the world. And it can start to get to the point where it feels like, what is the world if I'm not projecting anything? Like when you realize how much you are, your perception is influencing your world, then it can get to the point where things start to seem a little solipsistic, in the sense that it feels like you can't really figure out what is truly objective about the world. Everything seems to be just a part of your making. And there's the problem with this is that whatever belief system you came from before, instead of solipsism, you might have been a materialist. So your view on the world is that the whole world is made up of matter, right? So that's usually the typical Western sort of worldview. And then there's also idealism, which is more that the world is made of ideas and that it's mental and not material. So when you're coming from these positions, notice that these are belief systems. That's precisely why you're able to switch to some other alternatives, such as solipsism, potentially. But when we're doing truth seeking, when we're spiritually seeking, or doing personal development, what we're after is, the truth that is, not distorted by our beliefs, right? So if we're truth seeking and we end up coming across solipsism and we feel like we're getting stuck there, notice that this is another belief system. You can't validate solipsism just like you couldn't validate materialism. The whole point of this, this endeavor of seeking truth is to debunk beliefs that are untrue. And basically, a belief is something that stands in the place of truth. So as we investigate all of our beliefs, most of them, in the end, none of them can stand. So sometimes what happens is when we kind of debunk one belief, we unconsciously put a new belief in the place of the old one, and it's like we're tricking ourselves because we don't really notice that we're doing it. You can get better at noticing this, but it gets replaced, and then you start backing up that new belief as if it's true. So solipsism is, even though in its description there are some seeming similarities to what somebody would talk about when they're talking about awakening, it actually is not the same at all, because awakening is not a belief system. And solipsism has a lot of axioms in it. So it's, without the beliefs in these axioms, the whole worldview just falls apart. And some of these axioms are things like, I'm the only real mind or person. I mean, even to say that you are a mind is an axiom, because you can't validate even that a mind exists. And to say that, just to basically say that everyone is an illusion in my mind. I mean, things might start to seem a little bit more like your perception creates reality. The more you do your personal seeking, your spiritual seeking. And in a sense, your perception does create reality, but you can't make that into a belief either, saying that my perception creates reality, because that's another belief system. See, the difference with solipsism and awakening is solipsism is a belief system and it has axioms. Awakening is just raw isness, raw being without any belief systems. It's almost like solipsism, it's getting a little closer in a sense. That's why I think it pops up a lot when people are seeking this stuff. But it's a little closer only because you're in the solipsism worldview. It's like everything but your mind is a mental construct. Well, that's close. But what would be even closer is to say that everything's just a mental construct, and there's no you're not that your mind is the only mind that's imagining everything. That's also a mental construct too. You go with the whole it's almost like it's like in solipsism everything's imaginary except your one mind. Well, your one mind is almost like the last straw. in this belief system that needs to go to get rid of all beliefs. But that's the last thing that we hold on to. So it's almost like we identify with so much, and then we take care of our beliefs. We debunk our beliefs. Then we believe in we identify with a lot less and a lot less, and then it gets to the point where the only thing we're holding on to is just the idea of being a mind, and this one little speck, and then everything else is all debunked beliefs. But then when you have that identity with that one little speck, everything else is relative to your identity as that little speck. So it's that last little speck that needs to go. That little speck is you can think of living that way is similar to living with a solipsistic worldview. This is not good, because not only have you not kind of completed the work, but also you're now living in a delusional state that's different from everybody else's kind of delusional state that they live in common, or at least most of them do. So you're now out of touch with the conventional delusion, and you're living in a little you're living in your own little world, and you still haven't really completed the job of awakening or truth seeking or personal development. Now, the thing is, it doesn't always have to go like this. It doesn't always have to go like the identity is like shrinking, and then you're this tiny little dot. And it doesn't always have to, I mean, I would think it doesn't always have to lead to solipsistic thoughts. But it could also go like from here to poof. People have these really deep insights and epiphanies and awakenings. And there's everything in between those two. And there's, I'm sure, so much more that I can't even cover, because every awakening is different. And there are different traps for different people. But I do think that this sort of solipsistic ideology sort of deal is a common trap. So if you're in it, solipsism is not awakening. It's another belief system, and I don't believe it's a healthy one. All right. If you like this video, then please hit the like button. If you want to see more content like this, then please subscribe. If you have anything you want to say, then please comment down below. If you know anybody who might like this, then please share it. And if you want to get notifications whenever I drop new content, then hit that little bell button. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.